Hello there, it's Chantel and you are watching Studio Expansion TV, bringing you more passion, more profits and more purpose to your studio. And in this episode we are talking all about the importance of the phone in helping you to sign up more students. You know, when you're trying to get more potential students into paying students, one of the easiest ways to increase the number of conversions from inquiry to student is to focus upon building connection in that relationship in those early days. And the best way to do it is on the phone. Now, I know in these days of wanting to automate everything and wanting to systemize and really streamlining your workload, email is fabulous. And I am all about building automated follow-up systems which pretty much rely on email. However, nothing can beat the power of connecting with someone on the phone, especially in the industry that we are in. So I'm going to share with you 3 tips to be able to better use the phone in your studio. The first tip is to make sure on your website Contact Us page that the phone is a required field. Quite often I see studios asking for their name, their surname and their email address, but they're missing out that phone number. And if we don't have that phone number, we can't follow up with them via phone, which is super important and a very quick and easy thing to fix. The second tip is to be quite careful about who you choose to answer the phone and make those follow-up phone calls. Nothing sells your studio like someone who is passionate and who is curious and inquisitive. And those conversations you have are so important for us to kind of create a bond between you and that potential student. So whether it's you on the phone or whether you've got a really high energy teacher who can take on that role for you, that's a really important decision, because sometimes if you've got someone who's like, hi, yeah, that's fine, we've got our classes on at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoons. Yeah, you lost them. It's got to be very different. And that leads me into tip number 3. Tip number 3 is this: when you get them on the phone, do not talk about your studio. Your goal is to see if you can get to 3 minutes in the conversation without talking much about your studio at all. See if you can just ask question after question and keep directing the conversation back to that student. What are you looking for? So have you done any classes in the past? What are you looking for in a teacher? What times are convenient for you? Let's kind of see what we can question about, finding out about then and building that emotional question. It's not about the details, money, location, times, later. At the moment, we want to focus upon building that emotional connection between, you know, what the aspirational things of where would you like these lessons to take you, or why is this important to you? Those kind of questions are going to make that potential student see you as that nurturing, that trusted authority that is going to be the right pick for their child. So that's a really good idea to do. I would script out 10 questions. And I would kind of like, so those ones I told you, like, you know, for example, what are you looking for? Have you done classes before? Write 10 questions and then print them off and stick them in the office, in the studio, where you can kind of, when you get a phone call, you just go through that script. And that makes it really easy. And you can train your teachers to follow that script so that when an inquiry does come in, they are absolutely following that system for connection, to build the relationship and get them into the studio. You know, I said I was going to give you 3 tips, but I've just thought of a really valuable one that I just couldn't resist sharing with you right now. And that is the importance of documenting each and every inquiry that comes through the door. We want to make sure that we can follow up with them once they've come into our funnel, if you like. So we want to guide them towards becoming a student. So one of the programs I use to keep track of inquiries is Trello. And this works on the premise that it's vertical columns and you can just move the cards between the columns. So you might have inquired via the website or inquired by phone, and so whichever column they go into, they start there, and then you just move little Jenny Smith, and Jenny Smith inquired by phone, and then I followed up by email, I've sent the welcome pack, and you can kind of move them along that progression so you always know where every inquiry is in that pipeline towards becoming a student. And you can also take little notes so that you can kind of, next time you speak to them on the phone, go, oh Jenny, I remember you, how is this going, da 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 da. Build that connection, build the personal touch. So let's wrap all this up for you. The first tip to do to improve your conversions on the phone are to make sure you've got the phone as a required field on your website. Then you want to make sure you've got someone really persuasive, very passionate, very curious and inquisitive and good at asking questions and listening to follow up when they're making the phone calls. The third step is to really follow a script, asking questions, building that personal relationship with that potential students. And the fourth tip is to document them to make sure you're following up with them at every step. So why don't we work together here? How about if you come up with, can suggest one question that you would recommend asking on the phone to build that sense of connection and write it in the comments below. That way we're going to collectively come up with a great series of questions that you can use in your studio. Now, if you've got a friend who's a studio director who you think would benefit from watching this video and learning about how to grow their enrollments over the phone, please feel free to send this video to them right now. Now, if you liked this video, you can subscribe to our Studio Expansion TV YouTube channel. And if you want more tips on how to grow your studio and attract more students, you can jump on over to studioexpansion.com, and there you can register for our email updates, which will keep you in the loop of all our free trainings, more of our videos and bonus content to help your studio grow. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'll see you next time on Studio Expansion TV.